So on Friday, the major media outlets, including starting with CNN, said they reported this thing that WikiLeaks emailed Donald Trump, right? They were going to give Donald Trump special access to the DNC emails before they were published on the internet, right? This would prove collusion between Trump and WikiLeaks, and more importantly, Trump and Russia. Julian Assange, Russian spy. We know that. Hillary Clinton has said that in interviews. He's a Russian operative, right? They scooped. All the major media outlets jumped on it, right? It was based on an email which CNN strongly implied it had exclusively obtained and had in its possession. This, by the way, is by an article on The Intercept by Glenn Greenwald, which is fantastic. Glenn Greenwald is great. The email was sent by somebody named Michael J. Erickson, somebody nobody had heard of previously and whom CNN could not identify, to Donald Trump Jr., offering a decryption key and access to DNC emails that WikiLeaks had uploaded. The email was a smoking gun in CNN's extremely excited mind because it was dated September 4th, 10 days before WikiLeaks began promoting access to those emails online, and thus proved that Trump family was being offered special, unique access to the DNC archive, likely by WikiLeaks and the Kremlin. So this is one thing that the corporate media, the corporate state, has been trying to show, that Julian Assange is not a hero. He's a Trump Russian operative that just had it in for Hillary Clinton. When Julian Assange, as we know, is people give him stuff and they verify it and he goes, this is the truth, this is the corruption. It's the DNC still cannot take responsibility for their corruption. They just cannot. It's so obvious. But here we go, September 4th. September 4th. And CNN, and there's a clip in this link, you should watch that. It's just, they're so like, oh my God, they're just foaming at the mouth. They can't contain themselves that they got this smoking gun, September 4th. The one problem with this, they got the date wrong. It actually, the email was on September 14th. It was sent after WikiLeaks had already published access to the DNC emails online. Thus, rather than offering some sort of special access to Trump, Michael J. Erickson was simply some random person from the public encouraging the Trump family to look at the publicly available DNC emails that WikiLeaks, as everyone by then already knew, had publicly promoted. So, not what CNN said had happened. Not what CNN. It's right here. The email is right here in the email from Michael Erickson, dated September 14th, 2016 at 2:03 p.m. It just says, Dear Mr. Trump, WikiLeaks has uploaded another huge 678 megabytes archive of files from DNC. It was too big for me to send you by email attachments, but you can download it yourself. This guy, Michael J. Erickson, is from president of Aviation Management, Inc. Drone Cohabitation Services. And then, when the journalist was found to be wrong, the congressional reporter, Manu, Raju, he posted a tweet noting the correction. And then they said, oh, they got it from multiple sources and they were just wrong. It's just unbelievable. But why? The problem with this is then when this story came, everybody jumps on it, and in this social media era, it just goes boom, 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 and you just see a headline. Nobody reads the full story. Right? One tweet from Democratic Congressman Ted Lieu, that's my congressman, claiming that this proved evidence of criminal collusion, was retweeted thousands and thousands of times in just a few hours. Lieu quietly deleted the tweet after I noted it falsely, and long after it went very viral, without ever telling his followers that the CNN story and therefore his accusations had been debunked. This is what drives me nuts. Ted Lieu is a Democrat. He's a corporate Democrat. He makes this thing, retweets it, and then doesn't come back and say, I had it wrong, the information was wrong, you guys. He just quietly deletes it. More corporate Democratic bullshit. Glenn Greenwald tweeted, this tweet is from a member of Congress today. It was retweeted more than 7,000 times and counting and liked more than 15,000 times. It's based on a completely false claim from a debunked CNN story. This happens over and over. This seems damaging and still no retraction. Because then it just seeps into the consciousness, right? So someone that's not paying attention goes, oh, see, yeah, Julian Assange, WikiLeaks, man, they gave it. It was CNN covered it, so if CNN covered it, and then I saw Ted Lieu tweet it, it must be true. See how dangerous this is? And how deliberately damaging this is? Brookings Benjamin writes, whose star has risen as he has promoted himself as a friend of former FBI Director Jim Comey, not only promoted the CNN story in the morning, but did so with the word boom, which he uses to signal that a major blow has been delivered to Trump on the Russia story. This is the shit that drives me goddamn nuts. If the Democratic Party were to just become a fucking progressive party, like they used to be under FDR, a populist, progressive goddamn party, they would crush Trump. He's a corporatist. He didn't drain the swamp. He filled it with ExxonMobil and Goldman Sachs. Like, so they have to do these bullshit tactics, and then they're proven wrong, which then just gives Trump and his fucking idiot buddies more ammunition to go, see, the media's against me. The media's in league with it's liberal media. It's not liberal media, it's corporate media. But they just keep handing Trump more ammunition. They're so stupid. God. And this guy, Benjamin Wittes, didn't then go back and, once the story was debunked, and change anything. It's unbelievable. And people were lied to and tricked, and this is what they do. And it's just unbelievable, man. And so it's maddening, but I'm glad Glenn Greenwald is around to call people on it. And if you're paying attention, you get to get the real information. I'm getting a little worried about the Intercept because I'm seeing a lot of articles that seem kind of corporate media-ish, but then Glenn Greenwald doesn't seem to be for sale, so I like what he's doing. Multiple sources. So, this is something to pay attention to. And it just shows you how corrupt everything is. Also in this article is about the Washington Post to expose a source whom they had promised anonymity and off-the-record protections because they discovered that she was purposely feeding them false information as part of a scheme by Project Veritas to discredit the Post. It's a well-established principle of journalism, one that is rarely followed when it comes to powerful people in D.C., that journalists should expose rather than protect and conceal sources who publicly feed false information to be dismissed in the public. Right? So that's what CNN did. They said they had multiple sources, and they just had one fucking email that was fake that didn't even read correctly. So I don't even know. Like, okay. Anyway. Read the whole story from Glenn Greenwald. He's a good guy to follow because he's on top of these. Every time they do some bullshit like this, he's on top of it. So I appreciate you guys supporting the show, and because when you pay for cable, you're supporting people like CNN and MSNBC and Fox. They get money from that. So cancel your cable and support shows like this. Because I might get it wrong, but I won't do it for fucking corporate lie bullshit reasons. I'll just get it wrong. And if I do get it wrong, I'll admit I got it wrong. I'll say, I'm sorry, I got the wrong information. So, anyway. It's so haphazard what they do. But thanks for watching the show. I appreciate you supporting it. And December 17th, come out to San Bernardino. And I'm going to add a new tier on Patreon. For $20 a month, you get 2 tickets to any live show that I'm doing. I'll give you 2 tickets to any live show that I'm doing, especially the 13 episodes of this FNX show you'll get. And tickets are $15 each, and I'm shooting 13 of them. So like starting in January, there's 3 shows you can go to in January. There's 3 in February. There's like 4 or 5 in March. So I'm going to start that tier. Thanks for supporting what I do. Let's make Gotham great again.